A few weeks ago, Canada's unelected, unaccountable Supreme Court made a bizarre decision. They said it was illegal, against the Charter of Rights, for the town of Saguenay, Quebec, to start their town council meetings by saying the Lord's Prayer, as they had done for years. Get this, the Supreme Court said it was against the Charter of Rights, even though the word God is in the Charter of Rights. Try squaring that circle. Now, a lot of Canadians just laughed at the Supreme Court. They're out-of-touch hacks. The Liberal mayor of Calgary, Naheed Nenshi, who's Muslim, by the way, said, yeah, they're going to keep saying the Lord's Prayer in Calgary. Thank you very little, Supreme Court. We'll ask for your opinion when we want it. But what about the town of Richmond Hill, Ontario? They panicked, even though they weren't involved in the Saguenay case. Not only did they decide to rip up they're saying the Lord's Prayer. But when one councillor said, well, maybe we can start it with something innocuous, like singing O Canada before each council meeting. Well, that went down in flames. Richmond Hill's town council voted 5-4 against saying O Canada. I'm not even talking about the Lord's Prayer. They just abandoned that one. But 5-4, they voted to ban O Canada too. It was crazy. Now, I have a friend in Richmond Hill, David Menzies. He lives there, he loves it, and he went to town hall to try and see what was going on. Here, take a look at that.
It looks like Richmond Hill is saying no to O Canada based on a legal opinion.
Well, if that's what people are interpreting, then I'm suggesting they're interpreting it incorrectly.
Yeah, that was sort of a weird and defensive and vague answer from the mayor, wasn't it? Even weirder, the mayor's son sent me an angry email saying we were being unfair, but I couldn't report the fact that he sent me that angry email. Yeah, what's with all the censorship here? Between the Supreme Court censoring the Lord's Prayer, Richmond Hill censoring O Canada, and the mayor's son trying to censor me on TV. What's gone wrong in our country? We're free. Well, listen, I want to show you the actual videotape evidence of how this all went down. See, Richmond Hill's politicians are just as vain as many other politicians. They videotape their proceedings and put it on the internet. It's gripping viewing. Let me show you a few clips of how the city council made the decision. I want to show it to you because it's quite appalling. So here's a few clips, and I'll try and get through them as quickly as possible. Once the town council voted to scrap the Lord's Prayer, well, Councillor Hogg thought, well, maybe they would read some sort of vague, neutral, sort of pagan statement to open council meetings instead. Take a look.
I propose that we begin council meetings with a statement. The statement I read before, I'll read it again. Tonight, council comes together as representatives of our town to conduct the town's business. We are glad to be joined by our many engaged citizens, both at home and with us here in council chambers tonight. May we use this time to hear from our residents, respond to the reports by the professional staff who inform us, and make fair and responsible decisions in the best interests of our community.
That's when Councillor Barrows, no relation to Mayor Barrow, said, well, let's sing O Canada. It's our national anthem. Take a look.
The clerk shall prepare an agenda for all regular meetings of council, setting out the items for consideration in the order of business for the meeting in the following format. Bracket I and bracket call to order / playing of O Canada. That's my amendment.
Oh, they started getting nervous because, you see, their town lawyer said, you can't sing O Canada. It's too, I don't know, racist or something, because it's got that phrase, God keep our land, in it. So the councillors started to get a little bit panicky, like a flock of sheep that sees a wolf. Here's one councillor, take a look.
If I really don't see the merit at the municipal level of playing O Canada to begin a council meeting, if I see playing O Canada as something we do under different circumstances, like most other municipalities, when it's an event of some national import or competition.
Yeah, I don't think council should sing O Canada. That's just for hockey games. Yeah, no, it's for all events, for civic events like a town council meeting. Here's a councillor saying it's just not appropriate. O Canada, it's not appropriate. Take a look.
I frankly don't think it is appropriate at the municipal level to be playing O Canada before a council meeting.
We're prolonging the exercise of getting into council meetings, and the only place I see this happening is at the 7:30 council meeting, which means that we're going to be prolonging the amount of time spent in just the opening ceremony.
Here's my favorite argument against O Canada. It takes so long to sing. You know, O Canada takes about 90 seconds to sing. This town council meeting went on and on and on and on, debating over street sign names. Seriously, here's a quick taste of that.
I just think that somebody of this stature in our community, or in our country, needs to have a road named after him that's commensurate with that status. So some sort of a arterial road or a collector road or a street of some significant travel.
You do have to go back, as we haven't dealt with the addition of a name of approved street for Sugar Ridge Estates, 200 Snively Street.
So enough time to haggle over street names, but no 90 seconds for the national anthem. Got it. Here's a councillor saying it's just not appropriate. Take a look.
The playing of O Canada doesn't have a place in the opening of a municipal council.
Look, these politicians were just embarrassing themselves, and I think they knew it. So they did a trick. They said, let's kick out all the members of the public, let's kick out any journalists, and let's turn off the TV camera and have a secret meeting. Now, the phrase for that is an in-camera meeting, but basically, they knew they were embarrassing themselves, and they didn't want us to see. Take a look at them go into a secret meeting.
So, excuse us for... hopefully not long. We are now going in camera. Unfortunately, we have to ask you to...
It's settled. Lawyer says we can't say "O Canada." That's illegal now.
And in the interests of good government, that is why we went into private session. That is why we got legal advice. Based on that legal advice, I would ask that the mover and seconder of the amendment, Councillors Barros and Munch, withdraw their amendment. Otherwise, I would suggest, Mr. Mayor, we proceed to vote. Thank you.
Councillor Chan, who actually wanted to do the right thing, said, well, maybe if we just hum "O Canada," the Supreme Court and the lawyers would be okay. Unless, of course, that's now illegal humming. Here, take a listen.
If we are playing "O Canada," playing with just the musical tone, on that basis, that I would support the amendment, because that would be something that would potentially minimize the risk.
Well, they had been debating "O Canada" for many times longer than it takes to sing it, and in the end, they called the question.
So, Madam Clerk, there has been a request for a recorded vote.
Councillor Barros?
Yes.
Regional Local Councillor Hogg?
No.
Councillor West?
No.
Councillor Silovitz?
No.
Mayor Barrow?
No.
Councillor Viu?
Yes.
Regional Local Councillor Spadafora?
No.
Councillor Munch?
Yes.
Councillor Chan?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, the motion fails 4-5.
Okay.
5-4 against "O Canada." Now, immediately there was a reaction to this, and so the mayor put out a vague statement, just as squirrely as his interview to David Menzies, where he says, council did not pass that amendment. You can see that here. Yeah, it's true council didn't, but you were the deciding vote, Mayor.
Mayor Barrow?
No.
You were the reason it was 5-4 against "O Canada, not 5-4 for "O Canada." What should we do here? I mean, look, I don't live in Richmond Hill. My friend David Menzies does, but it's only a small town in this big country. But I think Richmond Hill is a symbol of political correctness gone crazy, of unelected judges and lawyers intimidating us from our traditional culture and values. "O Canada" is the least offensive song I know. It also happens to be our lawful national anthem. It's not just for hockey games or people, celebrating Canada Day. It is our anthem. And when you have judges and lawyers intimidating cowardly politicians to ban it, that is the beginning of a very slippery slope. It's not even the beginning. The beginning of the slippery slope was banning the Lord's Prayer. We are on the slope right now. So what can we do? You saw the mayor. He's digging in his heels, and so is his email writing son. But I think we can turn the tables, because I think if enough Canadians see this political correctness, this anti-O-Canada sentiment in Richmond Hill, they'll fight back. So I want to do two things, and I'd like your help. I've set up a website called SaveOCanada.ca, just like it sounds, SaveOCanada.ca, and there's two things on this website. First, a petition where we demand that Richmond Hill Town Council open the matter up again, put it back to a vote, and approve the singing of O Canada before council meetings. And if that means they have to start 90 seconds later than normal, so be it. They're being paid. The second thing, though, is I want to prove it's not just you and me and thousands of Canadians signing the petition. I want to prove scientifically, statistically accurately, that most people in Richmond Hill are frankly disgusted by the behavior that I've shown you. And so I have commissioned an independent professional opinion poll of Richmond Hill. Will you help me pay for that poll? It's going to cost me about $2,000 to put the poll into the community, and I should have the results on Monday, which is good because they're having another town council meeting Monday night. I will let you know the results of this poll as soon as I have them. Can you go to SaveOCanada.ca, sign the petition to save our anthem, and chip in a few dollars if you can to help me pay for this independent professional poll? I want to show Mayor Barrow and the other cowards on Richmond Hill City Council that they are wrong. In fact, they are so wrong, it might actually cost them their jobs, not some fake threat from a Supreme Court that's going to throw them in jail for singing the anthem, but a real threat from voters getting a little bit sick and tired of this political correctness. For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.